All right. So, welcome everyone. My name's Rose White, and I am the Student Success Coordinator at the Office of Graduate Studies. And we are interested in making sure that our undergrads and our grad students have all the support that they need as they look toward moving on after graduation. And so, today we have Kaylee Schroeder from the Career Center who is going to give us all kinds of information, resources, and tips. So take it away, Kaylee. Thanks for being here.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rose, for having me, and welcome everyone. My name is Kaylee Schroeder. I am a career advisor here at the Chico State Career Center. I do have a presentation, so I'll be sharing my screen shortly. However, I really like to make sure my presentations are interactive. So I'm going to be asking lots of questions. So feel free to either pop off mute or put your answers in the chat. But since we are a smaller group, I just want to know y'all a little bit better. If you can say your name, um, degree you are either earning or just finished, and then a possible job career that you're interested in or industry you've thought about.
I can start.
Perfect. Thank you, Riley.
So my name is Aurelia Saldana. I am working on my master's in psychological science, and something that I would like to work in the future is probably within higher education, so maybe becoming a professor or an advisor of sorts.
Awesome. Aurelia, did you say ecological science?
Psychological science.
Psychological science. Okay.
Shall we go to Meredith next?
Hi everyone, I'm a grad student in the biology department. And what was the other question?
Where do you see yourself? What is goals? If
Ooh,
I know,
what
tough
is,
one,
what is goals?
right?
So I guess I don't know what my goal is. I'm caught between wanting to have a normal biotech company job where like I don't have to bring work home after 5. But it teeters from day to day because I also really like being a TA and I like teaching college students. So that's also an idea of what I want to do. So I'm kind of caught between the two different job options.
There, that's real. Buddy.
Yeah, so my name is Letty, and I graduated with my MSW this past May. So I am pursuing licensure. So I'm an ACSW currently, PPS, and my focus is working within the behavioral health field in school systems, supporting children and families. And also, I'm also a researcher, so I do plan to pursue PhD in the future. So I'm working towards that as well.
Cool. Thank y'all. That also just helps me better navigate and tailor my what I'm saying to y'all to make it a little bit more personal. So thank you guys for the introductions. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Alrighty. So like I said, I am from the wrong one. Career Center. We're going to talk about life after graduation. Some of y'all have already graduated, pursuing other opportunities. Some are still in the mix of working towards your studies. So I just want to talk quickly about our services, because all of our services at the Career Center are available to you while you are currently a student, but also as an alumni for life. So, right, sometimes it's like, let me just graduate, let me just finish this thesis project. I can't even think about job searching. I don't know what that looks like. Or, I know that was me. I was like, let me get my degree, then I'll worry what I'm going to do. So again, we are alumni for life service here at Chico State. Even if you're pursuing, Letty, let's say you go to do a PhD program at possibly a different school, you still have access to these services from graduating from Chico. So even if you go to other schools or institutions, since you've graduated from Chico, you always have access to these services. So what are these services? Self-assessments. A lot of you guys are, well, all of you are in your master's program, so it's sort of not really what do I want to major in, but sometimes it's what can I do with this major? And as you are diving deeper into your field, right? Master's programs are a lot more specialized. What are those various industries, right? Like social work, you have the macroscopic view or the microscopic view. Like, where do you want to work with that? With biology, you mentioned, do you want to be in industry? Do you want to do research? Do you want to be in teaching? There's so many different options and fields you can utilize with various majors. We also help with job searching. So utilizing databases. Do you know how to work and utilize LinkedIn, Handshake, Indeed, Google Jobs? So how to maximize those databases, but then also how to be strategic with your job searching. Can we identify 10 different companies that are in your field that you want to work with, right? Because job titles are not the same across various companies or organizations. Companies and organizations get to choose job titles, so those may vary. So coming with a list of companies you'd like to work for, coming up with a list of called keywords. So when utilizing those databases, you're inputting various keywords into those search engines to get different results for job opportunities. So various job searching strategies. Another strategy I always talk about is a lot of times I work with students who are job searching and they say, I've submitted 100 applications and I haven't heard back. So my advice is don't get lost in an electronic abyss. How can we think outside the box so that way you are a person to the hiring manager or recruiter for those positions? How can we network? How can we do something different than just submitting an electronic application? We have various career center events and workshops, career fairs. So a few of them coming up next semester is like how to build a federal resume or a Peace Corps info session. We have thrift shop, which is if you are a student and you have your Chico State ID, you can go to the Salvation Army and they offer even extended bonuses and discounts. At the thrift store at the Salvation Army, and they specifically pull out all of their professional clothes for that event. So really trying to build up that professional wardrobe. So we have various events, and then we also host career center career fairs, which biology, psychology, social work, a lot of times I hear career fairs are for business students. That's not for me. However, all of our career fairs are open to all majors. So I always like to mention that. And these employers are coming on campus to hire Chico State students. So a lot of times you'll see, so actually back up, about 2 weeks before each fair, we post the employers that are attending. So you can take a look at that list to see if there's employers that are of interest to you, right? So I guess it was more than 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had the all major job fair. Again, lots of people think it's business only. However, there was a private company called Westervelt that is completely environmental science, restoration, environmental like restoration and preservations. And so I think it's not knowing those employers. And so that way you can capitalize on, again, how do you prevent getting lost in that electronic abyss? You can go and meet someone, have the contact information of these companies. We have all different organizations, government entities that are always hiring for psych type positions. I would call them social service positions, and that would apply to psychology and then as well as social work. I would say we see lots and lots of positions looking for the MSW, or is it ACSW, Letty? ACSW for the associate of social work. So just know, I think a lot of people hear career fairs and like I said, think business, that's a business thing. I know that's what I thought when I was a student here at Chico. But we have employers looking for all types of majors, and all majors can attend those career fairs. So just go ahead. I'll show you how to find that information so you can check those employers list. This upcoming This upcoming semester, there's going to be, I'm going to say the most relevant ones to y'all's major would be the all major. There's an all major career and internship fair. There's going to be an education hiring fair. So I know, Letty, you mentioned about possibly being in the schools, and then a rally you can apply, right, psychological sciences in the school system if that's of interest for you working with youth. So there's going to be the education, the all major, and then we're also going to have a nonprofit and government fair. So Meredith, I think that's probably I know you sort of said biotech, which more private than government, but last time I want to say there was at least 8 different companies more in the government sector and nonprofit. I think we have River Partners there that are specifically for biology. And so just know career fairs does not mean business students only. And these are opportunities where employers are coming on campus to hire Chico State students. And it's your opportunity to ask questions. What does this person do all day? What are those responsibilities, right? An informal type interview. Resume cover letters, typically that's what most people know us at the Career Center. That's our bread and butter, what most people come. Developing that resume, developing that cover letter, making sure you have a strong application package to whatever you are applying to, and really tailoring it and being specific. I think that's huge in all of your career journeys right now is, are you industry specific? But also you might have multiple resumes. I'm thinking, Meredith, for you said possibly education, possibly biotech. I would have 2 very different resumes highlighting different things, right? They're both going to be biology focused, but what are those skills we're appealing to for those various industries? And so that's something I always think about as well. I have 3. Wonderful. Yes. And then the other thing we do with career development is practice interviews. We always say practice interviews for grad school, for employment, even negotiations. Sometimes it's, hey, I have this offer letter. How do I enter into this negotiation conversation? How do I start that? What does that look like? And so we can sort of advise and walk you through the steps of how to negotiate. And then my favorite thing, which we are going to touch, is networking on LinkedIn. I'm sure many of you guys have heard sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Yes, I see some head nods. Yes, so right, you guys are building strong support systems, strong networking here in Chico. But if you are not staying in Chico, or how do you want to expand your horizons in the industry and other places, LinkedIn provides an opportunity to that professional networking space across country, internationally, not just in the Chico area. So we're going to talk a little bit how to utilize that service. Anyways, to gain access to any of these support services, we have drop-in hours, so you get same-day service from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, in person or virtually. So drop-in Monday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then reminder, you get access for life. So I'm just going to quickly show you our website I did not put that on there, but searching, if you're just on the homepage and type in Career Center, it will be the first link. Same thing if you Google Chico State Career Center. And these are all of the various tabs. One of the main, the Success Studio, which is how you get the drop-in hour. So it says Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then here's the Zoom waiting room if you want to access us virtually. All right. I've gone through lots of information. Hopefully that is the most that I'll be talking at y'all. Next, I'll be engaging a little bit more. But does anyone have any questions on resources, how to access resources, etc.? No? All righty. Okay. So let's talk about job searching, right? Again, we have 1 graduate, 2 sort of finishing up program. So the next thing is, what next, right? What is our life after graduation? So the first thing I always say is like, where to start? What is our plan? And set goals. Job searching can be a job in itself. And sometimes it's just so overwhelming. Like, I need to find a position, I need to apply for a job. It's like, let's break it down into smaller, attainable goals and steps, right? The first thing I always talk about is, do you have an application package ready to submit? So first thing, it's like, let's do resumes. Let's prep your application materials. Do you have a strong resume for various industries? Do you know how to write a cover letter, right? Those are two things that can be barriers to applying for jobs. I would hate for an amazing opportunity to fall in your lap and it's like, I'm not ready to apply quite yet. I don't have my application materials ready. So like I said, the Career Center does support with resumes and cover letters. So prepping that application material, I'd start now. On our, I'm just gonna go on our website, there is a handbook. Give me a guess. Has people seen this handbook? One, two, three. Beautiful. All of y'all. Okay. So I'll quickly skim this, but you all have access to this electronically. You can always come into our office to grab a physical copy, but there is multiple resume examples on here. And the reason why these are on there is because two reasons. A, these people have obtained employment, and B, we're always asking for feedback from employers what a good resume, what strong resumes look like. And so they've identified certain aspects in each of these resumes that they really liked and that popped to them, which made them want to move them on into the interview process in that hiring process. So, right, where to start? Again, strong application package, resume, cover letter. And cover letter is a little bit tricky. I always say you typically need that job description to write the cover letter. Write your cover letter as a persuasive essay in how your resume fits into the job description. So just sort of having the foundation of what a cover letter is and giving yourself time to write it is important, but you don't necessarily need it developed before job searching. So making sure you have application materials, right? Creating the plan. Research. Next part is research. Start identifying companies, right? If you're psychological sciences, RLE, thinking, are there certain companies I really want to work for? Or what are those job titles that I can find with this degree? Again, every company calls something or calls their positions something different. It's not in alignment. What are various industries that suit your passion, suit your skill sets, and suit your experience that you're trying to get into? So doing some research, and I love doing research with, there's two main platforms that I'm going to show you how to do research with. One is what can I do with this major? And the second one is LinkedIn. The next part is network. Start building that network. You can start this now. Start connecting on LinkedIn with alumni, employers, professors. One employer told me is like, don't ever suffer in silence when job searching. Everyone in your network, family, friends, professors, colleagues, mentors, advisors should all know that you're actively in the market for positions, because you never know who they know and what they hear, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, I know Meredith was looking for a job in biotech. Let me connect you with her, right? You just don't know how that comes up in conversation. So if you're getting closer to graduation, right, start those conversations. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. If you hear of anything that becomes available, please let me know. And we'll talk about, yes, do it verbally, but also we'll show you how to do it through LinkedIn. And then the big thing is create a plan, right? Like, this is where it can also get overwhelming is, are you applying to one job a day? Are you applying to 2 jobs a week? What does that look like to break that down of actually applying for positions? Again, job searching can be a full-time job in itself. So how can you break it up so that it's attainable? Because you're also going to school. You also might have other jobs, jobs that are sustaining you while you're going through school. You might have extracurriculars, research, and just life in general. And so how do you stay on track to find that job or employment or even additional grad school, right, doctorate programs post in this next phase? All right, we talked about attending career fairs. This is a way to identify and speak to employers outside. So I'm just going to click this link to show you on our main homepage. there's this middle tab, upcoming career fairs, events, etc. for students. This is where you will see all of the upcoming career fairs. So I mentioned that the 3 most relevant to y'all would be the Education Hiring Fair, Friday, March 7th, BMU Auditorium. When it becomes closer, like I said, there will be a link that will list all of the employers attending and the jobs that they are hiring for. So again, you can be strategic in that time and not just going and be like, who's here? But knowing, okay, I'm going to go talk to Westerville, or I'm going to go talk to the city of Sacramento because I know they're hiring a case manager position. And then this is the all major job fair. And then what is not posted is the nonprofit and government one. And that nonprofit and government fair will be on April 2nd. So again, how to get out of that electronic abyss, networking, go to career fairs. This is how you can meet employers in those industries. Okay, so know your options, right? I keep saying research, network. How do you research? How do you network? I also, down at the bottom, have shown an example of how to stay organized with applying for jobs. So if you are actively in that job searching market, keep yourself organized so that way you can track your goals. Are you really applying to 1 job a day? Or if you're doing 10 a week, are you really applying to 10 jobs a week? Job title, company, salary, location, job link, date applied. You can even have contact information. I know I've called people who've applied for positions in our office and they're like, what job is this again? And so, right, just making sure you're tracking, knowing what you're applying to, just helps that level of professionalism and making sure that you're applying to various jobs. All right, I'm not going to really talk about Focus 2. Y'all are all in your master's program, but I'm going to show what can I do with this major. So again, on our main website, Focus 2, what can I do with this major? If you click what can I do with this major, there's going to be this cute little resource, but I'm going to use Mare. I'm going to use yours for biology, biological sciences. You can find your major, go and click it. And what I like about this is it has the different industries you could go into. Sometimes it's like, okay, I was really focused on biomed or biotech, and I didn't realize that I can do like legislation and law with biology. And under each industry, it will have common career paths, common employers, and strategies to be a strong candidate in that industry. So it's not going to be very specific of like, these are the exact names of these employers, or this is the exact job titles, but it sort of just gives a brainstorming resource. It also might give strategies. So, right, to pursue a JD, participate in mock trial and pre-law associations if you're interested in this specific industry. So it's just like showing this resource. Any questions on what can I do with this major? I know a lot of you guys are very in it.
Wait, I'm sorry. And this is on the Career Center website?
Yep. Career Center website. It's Focus 2 and what can I do with this major? And when you click it, you'll see Focus 2 first, and then you'll click this link, or tile. What can I do with this major? And so you could also do this with psychology, and then same thing with social work, right? Just thinking like clinical, school, public welfare, healthcare, child welfare, forensics, admin, occupational. So I always just think this is helpful, right? Like, let's start seeing what else can I do with this? Maybe I only thought I could do this specific industry, had no idea I could really go into, like, I mean, Letty, you sort of mentioned your research focused, right? This research and education industry. Okay, so these are options, right? So know yourself, start exploring various industries, and then my favorite part is let's start using LinkedIn. So quickly, either off chat or come off mute. Who has a LinkedIn? 1, 2, 3. Okay, everyone, beautiful. All right, next question is who actively utilizes LinkedIn? Okay, 1-ish, 2. Okay, The 2.5. So fair. I know I was told to create a LinkedIn in one of my classes. I did and never used it until I graduated. And then once I graduated, my first job post-college was a recruiter. And as a recruiter, I use LinkedIn every single day to find candidates to fill positions. But now in this role, I use it in a whole different way of researching and networking. So researching, most people do not know this function of LinkedIn is within LinkedIn. I always say there's 3 types of profiles: individuals, universities, companies, organizations. So you probably have started connecting with individuals. Yes, we connected, building up those connections. If not, it's a LinkedIn is a networking professional social media site. So more connections you have, the better the algorithm works. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Make sure you add Rose, add each other, right? Classmates, colleagues, professors, mentors, advisors, etc. Next thing, said that universities have profiles. So we are actually going to go to Chico's, and I would recommend following Chico's. Y'all are either alumni or about to be alumni of Chico. So follow Chico's. But when you click on university's profile, it looks a little bit different than an individual's. They have a whole bunch of tabs, right? Home, employer, about, post, jobs, alumni. We are going to click the alumni tab. When you click the alumni tab, you can see that there's over 112,000 alumni connected on LinkedIn. And we have a new search engine. This new search engine will now search just these people's profiles, just Chico State alumni profiles, rather than the search engine up here that searches the entire LinkedIn community. So if we want to do some research on what have alumni with your degree gone, where do they work, we can look that up. So who wants to so we could either put in the search engine, or there's some preset filters that LinkedIn provides: where they live, what they do, what they're skilled at. They have what they studied. Who wants to do theirs?
I can do mine. I'm scared.
No, it's all good. Are you specific biology? Is it like EEO or micro?
EEO.
Is it like environmental ecological organism?
Yeah, ecological environment. It's ecology, evolution, and organismal biology.
Thank you. I just call it EEO.
Yeah, so do we, and then I have to pull it out of my files what that actually means.
Is that sort of your focus?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to say, when we type this in, all of these that are coming up are not specific to Chico State. It's like LinkedIn's general, right? Because every university typically has a profile. UC Davis, Stanford, Yale, like University of Arizona. Everyone has a profile. So it's not specific to Chico. So sometimes it's not going to be exact, right? Because I'm like, ooh, should we do environmental biology, ecology, and evolutionary? We're going to click this one. However, if we don't get the results we're looking for, we can click go back and redo it and add different majors. All right, when I click that, it says 56 alumni. There's way more than 56 alumni. Like I said, maybe if we did biology, it might look a little differently. But what I want to show y'all is when you click that, you can then start looking at their profiles. The first thing I always do is go straight to the education to see what they did. So, right, bachelor's degree, 2015, 2020, graduated in 2020 with the ecology and evolutionary biology. Then it looks like he went to Sierra College for firefighting, and now he's in his master's for natural resources stewardship. So maybe not going to be the most informative, since it looks like he sort of switched industries into fire fighting, but we can still look at what he's done. He's been, oh, too funny, he's at Westervelt, which I was just talking about. He was a land steward technician in 2022. So with his biology degree, this is a title, and he also was a land steward at BSER. This is a title that he obtained, and companies we can identify that you can apply to. So remember when I said, like, let's create a list of companies. So now we have two different companies, Beeser, Westervelt. And you also have various job titles to be putting in to maximize those databases, such as LinkedIn, Handshake, Indeed, Google Jobs, etc. And so I was just, let's just keep looking and we can go through, visitors. Amanda, Visitor Services, California Waterfowl Association. Again, I always take a look at their education first. Graduated in 2017. So anything after 2017 is because of her degree. We can look at all of her experiences, right? So it looks like she was office assistant for a while post-graduation and then got visitor services assistant at California Waterfowl Association. Again, here's a new company title, Fish and Wildlife Scientific Aid. Now she's working for CDFW. So went on the state side. Looks like went back to California Waterfowl Association. Sort of has hopped around, going back and forth. Maybe they're seasonal. And is now in visitor service back here full time. So does this make sense how you can research people's career trajectory, identify companies, and identify positions? Any questions about, we could call it researching alumni in your field? All right, the next exciting part about LinkedIn, right? Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm going to do, let's see what Melanie does. Environmental science at Elkhorn National Estuarine. Cool. So, Melanie, bachelor's degree, graduated in 2021. It's been a biologist at Mountain G Enterprises. Again, new company, title, company title, company title, multiple things. Let's say I really am interested in this opportunity at Elkhorn Slough. How would you say that? Anyone know? Slough, like tough?
It's slough, like water, sort of marshy area. That's
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Rose. I
Yeah.
was thinking like tough. So
Yeah.
Elkhorn Slough Foundation.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say you really want to get involved. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. But Melanie, she does not know who I am, right? But that is the power of going to university. You immediately have this connection of being Chico State alum or about to be alum, right? So you can message Melanie and reach out to her and connect with her and say, hi, Melanie, I see you work for Elkhorn Slough. I love to get in that type of industry. Can you give me some advice? All right. So on LinkedIn, you can message. But if you click message immediately, it's going to want you to pay for LinkedIn Premium. Do not pay for LinkedIn Premium. That is what I'm also here to say. There is ways around this. So how to message Melanie without paying for LinkedIn services is you're going to send a connection. When you send a connection, it's going to pop up, add a note, send without a note. And this is where then you can add a note and write something, right? Because if you just sent that connection, Melanie's gonna be like, who the heck is Kaylee Schroeder? Why is she trying to connect with me? And this is where you are limited to 200 characters, but this is where you can say like, hi, Melanie, about to graduate my master's in biology, love to learn more about your career journey post-graduation and with your experience in Elkhorn Slough. Is there a time that we can connect? Your goal is to build up that network, right? Because maybe like, oh my gosh, we're actually hiring, or my friend who works at the Waterfowl Association is hiring, because you never know who they also know in the industry, right? These are alumni professionals in the industry. So you want as many advocates to know that you're looking and you're ready to get in the field. I just want to mention and just be transparent about sending these. You do only get 5 a month sending these messages when you connect. So just make sure you're being strategic with that. Right? If you send these, it's not always guaranteed you're going to get a response. One way of looking is I always check to see what their activity is. And I can see that Melanie typically is pretty active, even though it says 2 months ago, she's generally pretty active on LinkedIn. So she's checking it versus some people I see where the activity, it says no activity at all. So just recognize that when reaching out to alumni. This is a major part of their social media scroll, right? They might do LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and some LinkedIn is not part of that sort of social media rotation. So that is how I would suggest messaging, start connecting, and you just never know what opportunities might fall in your lap as you are connecting, but also just learning a little bit more in depth about the industry, what they're doing, and then those various companies and job titles. Okay, I've given lots of information on LinkedIn. I could go on forever about LinkedIn. Any questions specifically about reaching out to alumni, connecting with alumni? Or how to research. Beautiful. Few other things, right? Like I said, come up with a list of companies, organizations that you're interested in looking for. All of those companies, I would suggest following. So I'm just going to do the Waterfowl Association. Did I spell that right? Or we can even just do the Elkhorn Slough Foundation. Any of those that you have found that you're possibly interested in, follow them. Any organization, company that you follow, pop up in your wall. So anytime they post, comment, like, it pops up on your main feed in on LinkedIn. And so that way you're staying up to date with those companies, organizations. They might be posting different jobs that come available. Or I always say when you get that interview, it's just a different way to do research on the company of what they've been posting on their LinkedIn than just looking up their mission and values on their company website. Right, so LinkedIn network, right? Especially if you're not staying in Chico, this is a way you can start looking at where they live. You can also compound that search of looking at alumni. You can compound and find like those biology majors that live in San Diego. Again, identifying those companies that are in that area that you're going to want to apply to. Because yes, databases are great, but they're general and broad. So it's super helpful if you know a list that you're checking the employment and careers page as well. Also, I just recently have talked to a few employers and they're like, yes, find our opportunities on these databases, but every day I check my own platform. I'm checking my company's website for those applications. I don't always check LinkedIn applications. I don't always check Indeed applications. Like that's their secondary thought. So if you're going on to those websites and checking their actual, like to the main source, that is going to be ideal when applying to positions. All right, various job search engines. Handshake, love Handshake, right? It's our Chico State Internship and Job Board. Handshake, you hear about mostly for those on-campus jobs. However, Handshake is a national resource. So companies all across the US use it, as well as universities all across the US use it. It is marketed to companies regarding saying like university students have access to this, university students and alumni, right? You can only access it with your Chico State credentials. So employers are posting a lot of those entry-level positions, research opportunities, internship opportunities, knowing that you're a recent student or a recent alumni. So that's probably one of my favorite resources to utilize for entry-level full-time positions or internship opportunities. A lot of times they're not looking for someone with 10 years experience on Handshake just because they know their audience there. LinkedIn, again, LinkedIn is another one of my favorite. Handshake and LinkedIn are probably my two favorite databases that I utilize. Utilizing the job board database on LinkedIn, but then again, that networking and identifying those companies and job titles. And government jobs, right? Knowing USA Jobs, Cal Careers, knowing what type of resume and application package for each one, county, cities. And this is my biggest advice. Go to the source. If you know where you want to work, or look at the company website, look at the career page, look at the employment page. And then don't be silent during this. talk to your professors, talk to your advisors, mentors, let them know what you're interested in, and use your personal network as well. So that is for that job searching strategies. I think, any questions?
Do you guys do like if I were to come into the career center and bring in my LinkedIn app and be like, I don't know what I'm missing? Do you guys do that?
Yes, yes, I love that you brought that up. So 100%, we will review your profile and be like, hey, these are ways that you can strengthen it, or I see this. Have you thought about doing this? The other thing we also do that I love that you brought up is we do free headshots as well. So if you need a professional headshot for that profile picture, we have like a nice black background and a bunch of lightings to give you a free professional headshot as well. And that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Just come into our office. Any other questions? Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. I hope you guys are all staying dry in this Chico weather this afternoon. But know when you come in, we're here to support you, whatever that looks like. I mean, I've worked with students where it's like, okay, let's identify 3 jobs right now that you can go home to apply to. Or I've worked with students where I'm just their accountability partner, where they meet with me every 2 weeks to be like, okay, I applied to these jobs, or Kaylee, I didn't apply to these jobs, building out that organizational chart. So whatever support you need, again, while you're a student, but also as an alumni, we're here to support you, to help you find a career that you love.
Haley, I cannot thank you enough for all this really incredibly good information. I always get so excited when I hear you talk because there's just, this is really, really useful. And this will help people to be able to move on successfully after they graduate. And we are very grateful for your time and for sharing your information today. And it's exciting to know that you can just drop in and see you Monday through Thursday. So thank you so much for everything.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.